episode 31 of the Austin Stand-Up Comedy Podcast, where I talk about stand-up comedians in Austin. What else would you do on a podcast called the Austin Stand-Up Comedy Podcast? What do you think? I'm talking about fish? Huh? What kind of lures to use? What kind of boots are best for wading? Huh? What time of year it's best to go up to Vermont? I think they had fishing in Vermont. I could be wrong. If you haven't heard this before, the point of this podcast is to celebrate Austin stand-up comedians. Talk about what I like about them, what I know about them, first impressions, any funny jokes I remember about them, in hopes to inject some positivity while we're still kind of stuck inside, although things are opening back up a little bit, you know? You can get back out there. I don't feel safe being around people super close. But that's okay. That's okay. I didn't like being around people to begin with anyways. Actually, before the whole pandemic hit, I was already carrying around hand sanitizer in my pocket. I hated festivals. I don't like that large crowds of people stepping on my shoes and bumping into me and smelling bad. And I remember I was complaining about a festival one time, and this girl was like, it's about the experience. And I was like, yeah, well, I don't like the experience. All of those things encapsulated into one word of the experience. I don't like it. So I'm okay being a hermit. But that's not the point of this podcast. I'm not here to vent, talk about what I like about being by myself. I was going to say lonely. But I'm here to talk about a couple Austin stand-up comedians. So today I'd like to talk about Hunter Duncan. I'd like to talk about Emilio Babot. And I'd like to talk about Tyler Nelson. So let's just get right into it. Let's talk about Hunter Duncan, one of the co-hosts of the Cherrywood Open Mic. Hunter, I saw him do a set at Fallout where they showed a video beforehand of him apparently running for some type of political position, running for office in some capacity. I remember the video being funny, and he's a good host. He's got kind of a Spacey kind of energy to him. Not Kevin Spacey, like Spacey as in like, it's just kind of, I don't know. He has a really funny joke about his uncle or great uncle who was a drummer in the military. That's a good joke. I really like that one. But yeah, seems like a good dude. I don't know him that well. We haven't really talked, but shout out to you, Hunter. Hope you're doing well. The other host of Cherrywood Coffee House is Emilio Babot. Seen him a bunch of times. He is like, he's got kind of a lanky, goofy energy to him. He told a joke at Love Goat one time, and I've only heard him tell it there, but it was so funny to me. It was about security guards, and maybe he'll remember that one, maybe he won't. But that joke to me made me like burst out laughing when he told it. He has a, what's the word? Almost like a fumbling kind of delivery to his jokes. But it works for him. What else? I don't know, Cherrywood. When I think about Cherrywood, I always bomb at Cherrywood. Something about that place just does not suit me well. I really love going there. I love the energy, the atmosphere, the food, the waitresses. The staff is always very nice. I saw a couple comedy shows there a long time ago when they used to do it indoors. But for some reason, just being outside, it just disappears up into the air. There's a train that went by during my set one time. I got kind of semi-heckled by somebody up front. It might just be my experience with it, but Yeah, the first time I went on stage, I was like, yeah, I'm glad to be here at Cherry House. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm done. So I couldn't recover. I couldn't recover from calling it Cherry House. It was such a dumb mistake. I do remember one interesting thing that Emilio did that he probably won't even remember, but I remember one time it was raining and it had stopped raining and we got there, but it was still kind of sprinkling. And he came out and he apologized to everybody for not being able to put on the mic. And I was like, dude, talk about extreme ownership. I was like, either it's extreme ownership or narcissism, because he's taking ownership of the weather. Like, sorry, guys. Sorry this is happening to us. But I don't know. He didn't have to do that. I thought that was kind of a cool thing for him to do. But shout out to Emilio. Hope you're doing well, man. Let's talk about Tyler Nelson, who isn't part of the hosts there, but I have seen him a bunch of times there. Seen him a bunch of times everywhere. I mean, he shows up everywhere. It's hard to miss, too. He's a really tall dude. Handsome fella. I've told him before he really needs to lean into that on stage. Just talk about how handsome he is. I would listen to it. He has a funny joke about being a single dad. His delivery is really funny. He's really, really smart. But I don't know if it always translates to crowds. But I think it's funny. So shout out to you, Tyler. He's always been super nice. I hope you find that notebook that you lost. I think that's all I got. So shout out to those three dudes. If you're a stand-up comedian in Austin, I'm going to talk about you at some point. Maybe I already have. If I have, the YouTube channel is searchable. Make sure to search your name. You could probably pull up an episode where I'll talk about you a little bit. The deal is kind of tell a couple stories about our experience out there in the Austin comedy scene. Other than that, stay safe, stay healthy. Stand-up comedy is going to be back soon. It's already kind of coming back. If you're listening to this as a fan of stand-up comedy, go catch a show. Go catch a show while you can. Be safe. Make sure it's socially responsible, socially distanced show. But go let us make you laugh. So have a great day, everybody.